Civil War. I believe this is something that these people have planned for ages, for decades, for years. And I often say how they need some conflict or chaos in order for them to bring in the New World Order. Well, they've been planning civil war for a long time. And a way that they've been planning it is they've been setting up these groups. And then they set up the groups who actually oppose those groups. So what they're going to do is they're going to cause the people to attack and literally do their dirty work by just killing off each other. And I'm specifically speaking about America, because America is Babylon. America is where the Antichrist will rise from, which will be the leader of the world. So that chaos is going to ensue in America. It's going to start off in America, and then it will spread abroad. But what they've been planning, they've been setting the stage for this up and coming civil war, which is going to be actually the people, the different groups, attacking and killing each other. Now, I looked up the definition of civil war, and it's defined as a violent conflict within a single country, which is America, between organized groups, typically involving the state or one or more state actors, or between such groups themselves. Now, state involvement. It says the state or the government is typically a major participant. They starting this stuff in the conflict, either as a target or the opposition, or as an active participant in suppressing the rebellion. Now, see, what they're going to do is they're going to get this rebellion, they're going to get this chaos started, so then they can come and bring order. And they got all different types of groups formed. The Republicans against the Democrats, blacks against whites, legals against illegals, the homosexuals against the straights. And that's what I want to speak on, because God has placed that on my heart real heavy today. When I was outside on my deck earlier, I was talking to my neighbor, and I just began to give her, I don't know how the conversation started, but I was basically giving her my testimony as to how God had delivered me from over 40 some years of being a lesbian. So it was just on my heavy on me. I always know when the Lord want me to speak on something. So I just started doing research on Civil War, and what the Lord has shown me is that one of the groups defined in Civil War, one of the groups that these people want destroyed is the gay, the lesbian, homosexual. They want to destroy these people. Now, again, depopulation is key. However they eliminate the people, it doesn't matter. And civil war will be a way, because by the time they come into their new world order, the population, according to them, must be under 500 million. This is according to them. So, however, through these fake pandemics and, civil war and other whatever it takes for them to depopulate this earth, they're going to do it. That's their goal. And the Lord was showing me, especially dealing with homosexuality, that they're going to use the fact that they've made people gay and proud now. You're going to stick out like a sore thumb. And all of these presidents, I'm telling you, these people work together. And, you know, I didn't see it long ago, but Obama, he is right along with them. Trust me, the Clintons, all of them, they are in this thing together. Don't ever think that Obama is not in on it. He is part of the elite. He is satanic, just like all the rest of them. And they pushed, you know, homosexuality and making people proud and coming up with Pride Month and coming out of the closet. You see all these different actors and sports people coming out. And so they want the gays to be proud and to come out so they can stick out like a sore thumb. So when Civil War starts, people will be able to point them out and you will become a target. And I do believe that all of these elites, these people that are in higher ups, all of them are involved in homosexuality, pedophilia, transgenderism, all of them. But see, they want to stay in the closet. They want to stay in the closet. You wouldn't believe who is actually transgender within our government, these people, these higher up people. You wouldn't even know. I mean, this thing is so far advanced as far as how they can get the voices changed and the bodies fixed, and you wouldn't even know. So you don't know, honestly, you really don't know if you're looking at a man or a woman. These people who, the so-called elites, these people who are running things, these people believe in bisexuality. They believe in this stuff. But see, they want to stay in the closet. But see, they want everybody else to come out so that they can be targets when this civil war breaks out. Now, I understand this may sound a little crazy and you think that's far-fetched, and you don't think that our government would waste their time plotting this thing for ages and decades. But yes, they are just that evil. They're very patient with their evil. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And I know for myself that the enemy has wanted to take me out for a long time, because I do believe that long before I ever knew it, that God had called me. And as I look back over my life and see how things played out, I can see it. God had called me a long time ago, but I didn't know it. So what the enemy did is he tried to give me these different vices to cause me to be taken out, whether it been drugs or the pride or the arrogance that I had. And, my mouth was just, and he just wanted some kind of way to destroy me. And I believe homosexuality was going to be the tool that he wanted to use to destroy me. Because honestly, as I look back, I really don't believe that I was gay. I don't. When I look back at it, I really don't even believe that I was gay, but I lived the life. I just think I just got an excitement out of doing what I was doing and turning people out. And, I just believe I just was excited from it, because honestly, I never cared to be embraced by a woman. I didn't want a woman touching me, not just women, but men either. When I was younger and my teen during high school, I tried dating men because I thought it was the right thing to do, but I just didn't really even care for them either. And most of the guys, well, it wasn't but a few of them that I did date, or boyfriends or whatever you want to call it, we just became friends, because it just seems like I just loved being alone. I would get kind of aggravated when people would be in my space too much. So I believe that was part of my calling, where God wanted me to be called out and to be separate, to be sanctified, to be holy. So I believe, again, that God called me long before I could ever know it, because I never really cared for people being around me that much. And, Paul, the Apostle Paul speaks about how it is better to be single. God could use you better. So I just think that, that's what God had called me, to be single all along. This is why I just never had a taste for either men or women, actually. But the enemy wanted to use that vice of homosexuality to destroy me because of the type person that I was. Anybody that got too close to me, I would kind of get away from them, and then just how I was doing people, and, getting people to like me. And then when they did start to like me, then I didn't want anything else to do with them. And that could have caused me to get seriously injured or hurt. People care about their feelings and their emotions. And I just really didn't care. I just felt like when it was over, regardless of what you felt like, you needed to understand that it was over and you needed to move on with your life. And that's dangerous. So the enemy was trying to use that to destroy me because I was involved with other people that I shouldn't be involved with, like married people, and a lot of them I didn't have any dealings, but just the fact that I was in their presence, it caused men to hate me. Some of these women, their husband had approached me, and some of them I didn't have any dealings with them. But just the fact that I was who I was and the way I looked, that put a bullseye on my back, and it could have caused me to get seriously hurt or maimed or even killed. So I know the enemy right now, he is using that vice of homosexuality to destroy many. And you see now, again, how they have made it where they want you to be proud about it. They want you to come out. See, what they want is you to have a bullseye on your back. That's what they want. So eventually the people, just like Civil War, different groups would just kill off each other. That's their goal. And I can speak about homosexuality. See, the thing is, a lot of people, they don't want to speak on it because it has become normalized. Back in the day, if somebody, gay popped up, or, they was talking, or they were like expressing themselves, you would see people saying, but now it is so accepted. It is so accepted now. And especially with these men. And it's like a lot of the women, they just enjoy it. They just love it. They gay friend, everybody's embracing it. And if you talk about it, you are a homophobe. But I do believe that I have the right to speak about it. I don't think anybody could call me a homophobe. Because just like I said, I was talking to my neighbor, and I was active in the gay lifestyle for over 40 years. Over 40 years. Whether I considered myself gay or not, I was never the type of person to come out of the closet, if you will. Never. Because I just felt like I'm just doing what I want to do. There's no need for an announcement. I'm just living my life just like everybody else lived their lives. People who are fornicating or committing adultery, they don't just come out and make an announcement and say, hey, I'm fornicating now. I'm sleeping with such and such wife, or I'm an adulterer. Nobody else does that. So I just never felt the need to come out of the closet. But see, what these people, what our government has done, they want people to be gay and proud. I was never a gay proud person. I always said that I'm black and I'm proud, which is still not good because we shouldn't have pride in anything. But I was never a proud gay woman because I never really called myself gay. I just considered myself as Angela. I'm just doing my thing. So, that goes back to hindsight, I really don't believe that I was gay. I just think I enjoyed what I was doing. And even when I came to Facebook and I joined all these different groups, the stud groups and these different groups, these people did not accept me. They didn't. None of them did. None of the groups. I got kicked out of so many gay groups because I never agreed with their way of thinking. And they would even question me, are you even gay? I'm like, yeah, I think so. I like women, so I believe I am. But their way of thinking, I never cared for it. I never cared for it. And again, I was often asked, because they never saw me in person. Now, you just put pictures in these different groups or whatever. But the way I would respond to certain questions and how I never believed that gay marriage should be legal. I never believed in that. I never did. I always believed that marriage was between a man and a woman. And when asked about it in those different groups, I would tell people, no, I'm not going to marry no woman. No, this is just something I'm doing. And it just my answers didn't make sense. What do you mean this is just something you're doing? Yeah, it's just something I'm doing. Whenever one of them say something about marriage, then she got to go. She got to go. I'm not that deep into it. So I would always speak against transgender. I'm just like, if you were born a man, you are a man. If you were born a woman, you are a woman. And I just got attacked by the gay people. I did. So I never did fit in. But what our government is doing, they're trying to get rid of people like me. I guess people would call me confused. So they want to get rid of any confusion. They want you to be gay and proud, not on the fence, not in the closet. And the thing is, all of them are in on it. And again, especially the Obamas, because people, try to exempt them from doing any wrongdoing. And I was kind of like that too, because I'm like, okay, they just attacking the black man. No, baby, Obama is so satanic and evil, y'all wouldn't even understand it. If you did your research, that man is purely satanic. He is right along with Trump and all the rest of them. These people are the elite. They don't see us. They consider us as bottom feeders. I'm telling you, Obama played us like a flute with the whole diddy bopping and, giving the fellas a pound and playing basketball. Oh, he was the perfect guy to hoodwink the black folk. He played us like a flute, but he is right along with everything that Trump is doing. I told y'all, they are excited about Trump now because they know Trump is working for the elitists. And this is their year. I made a video yesterday about Alice Bailey speaking about the externalization of the hierarchy would be in the year 2025, when these evil people, when they would just kind of rise in power. And we have seen that. It's like you wonder where all these people come from. And you think it's like the Trump administration. No, it's all of them. It is all of them. Every last one of them. They're evil. They're satanic. And see, the thing is, they use the so-called Democrats to make homosexuality and, lesbian and transgender or whatever. They use the Democrats to bring it on board. And then they use Trump in his first term to so-called be against it. But Trump, trust me, Trump is not against homosexuality at all, sweetie. At all. Trump's attorney, when he was coming up, before he even got involved into politics, was an openly gay man. So Trump is not against it at all. And then Trump threw a big bash a big gay bash at Mar-a-Lago. So y'all have to do your research. He held a gay bash, a gay event at Mar-a-Lago. And you notice he always plays the YMCA song. And anybody who knew about those people, those a bunch of gay men. It's fun to be at the YMCA. It's fun to be around men. Those are homosexuals. And Trump loves that song. Trump loves gay people. But see, his part of the trickery was to come along and turn people against the gays. You see how they, setting up these groups? They set up these groups and see what they're going to try to do is get us to destroy each other. So Obama's part was to come in and to make it sweet. Get everybody excited about being gay. Now, it says same-sex marriage became legal nationwide in the United States on June 26, 2015, following the Supreme Court's decision in Obergefell, versus Hodges. This ruling struck down all state bans on same-sex marriage, requiring all states to recognize and license these unions. All of the gay people were so excited. I think I was the only, I guess I was gay. I guess I was the only gay person that wasn't excited about that. I wasn't. Because I just felt in my spirit that something was wrong. To me, it was better when you just wasn't telling nobody about it. And when I was in the Marine Corps, if you came out as gay, they put you on investigation. When I was in Japan, I think I was under investigation several times. And they would put you out if they found out that you were gay. So it's like you had, I forgot who was in office. I think the Clintons when I was in the military, Reagan or somebody. But, of course, they were against it. Then you had people that were for it. So they've been building this thing for ages. But when they made it legal, I was like sad about that. I really was, because I just never thought that it should be. Because to me, the next thing on the list will be making pedophilia legal. If they're going to do that, it's all an abomination in God's eyes. So if they're making same-sex marriage legal, who is to say that somebody can't come and say, you know what? I was born loving little children. I was born this way. And then eventually they make that legal. That's the way I looked at it, because it was all an abomination. I was just enjoying sin. I knew it was wrong. I never felt like being gay was right. Just like fornicating and committing adultery and stealing and lying. None of that stuff is right. But that was just my vice, and that's just what I wanted to do. So when they made it legal, I guess I was one of the few gay people who was actually sad. And then it goes on to say, former President Barack Obama is known for lighting up the White House in the colors of the rainbow on June 26, 2015, in celebration of the Supreme Court's decision to legalize same-sex marriage. He is in on it. That's an evil man. Y'all don't understand. Y'all don't understand what these people are doing. Y'all understand what these people are doing. Prior to the Supreme Court decision, President Obama had publicly evolved in his views on same-sex marriage. He initially stated he believed marriage was between a man and a woman, and that was just a lie. He's just setting the stage. But later announced his support for same-sex marriage in 2012. His administration also took actions to advance the LGBTQ plus rights, including repealing the Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy and supporting legal challenges to the Defense of Marriage Act. So Obama was very key. I'm telling you, Obama was the forerunner. Like John the Baptist was the forerunner for Christ. President Obama was nothing but the forerunner for the Antichrist, which was Donald Trump. He was just kind of like setting the stage, paving the way for Trump to come along and do his thing. He was never against Donald Trump. Never. And back to Trump, how, when he came and talking about what he was going to do with the gays, and he had his little MAGA, fans excited to get rid of the gays and take them down. That was all lies. Roy Cohn was the name of Trump's attorney. You have to look it up. Roy, C-O-H-N, Cohen or Khan or whatever, was a past attorney associated with Donald Trump who was openly gay. Though his sexuality was often discussed in a derogatory manner during this time, particularly during the 1950s, he was known for his role as a lawyer during the Lavender Scale. Now, this man that was openly a homosexual. He was a very high-profile attorney. Look him up. Look at all the people that he defended and he got out. He actually was Trump's mentor. And he taught Trump never to admit anything. I don't even care if they watching you doing it. Don't admit to it. He taught Trump. He trained Trump, an openly gay man. So Trump is not against it. See, all of them want, the bottom feeders, what they call us, they want all of us to be, well, those who are gay, they want you to be proud. When these, during the month of June, they want you to come out and celebrate, basically putting a target on your backs. What you're doing is making mad the so-called MAGA supporters who Trump has turned them against gay people. Very crafty in his ways, has turned them against gay people. So once this civil war starts, homosexuals will be one of the groups that these people will have destroyed. And the fact that you are openly proud about it, that puts the bullseye even brighter on your backs. And see, the thing with me, I wasn't proud about it, but it was the way I carried myself. What they call a stud, with the manly mannerisms and certain clothing and the low haircut that I used to wear, and just my walk and my talk and the arrogance and just everything about me made me stand out, that people would just look at me and say, oh yeah, she definitely gay. She definitely gay. Even though I wasn't like saying it. And anybody that knew me, most of my friend base, I'll say, because I don't even consider myself ever having any friends, because all of those so-called friends betrayed me. But most of my friend base, they were straight people. I didn't even hang out with gay people. I didn't. Because it's like I didn't relate to gay people, and they didn't relate to me. Our conversations weren't the same. So it's like whenever I would meet somebody that was gay, they didn't care for me. They didn't care for me. So in my evilness, I would call it, whenever I thought that they didn't care for me, if they had a little cute girlfriend, I would just go after the little girlfriend. It was so evil. And see, that's how Satan was trying to use that whole lifestyle to try to destroy me. Because people will hurt you, especially nowadays. I thank God that he delivered me from all of that, because I can't even imagine if I was still living in that lifestyle, being as bold as I was and as demonic with my ways, that somebody could have probably taken me out. Especially these guys. Because I didn't fear any of them. None of them. And they knew it by the way I talked. And again, I always carried. But who's to say somebody couldn't get the jump on me and have their weapon first? You got a lot of these cases where you find a lot of these so-called studs killed They had a case, this young girl, and they showed a clip of it where right in, I think it was in one of those hotels in Orange Park or whatever, where a bunch of her so-called guy friends, they killed her. They gunned her down. She was in the car and they got her out of the car and they just gunned her down. Because see, sometimes, and especially the way I was, because of your dress code and the way you carry yourself, and you have a way with the ladies, and you have a lot of these guys that get jealous of that. Even if you're not even trying to, have one of these women, as your interest, just the way that you carry yourself around them, guys would get jealous. And that would call, and especially your dress code. If your dress code was on point, you have a lot of these insecure men. They would go after you and they would attack you and they would kill you. So the enemy was trying to use that lifestyle to destroy me. So right now, I know that is what the enemy is doing. He has caused all these so-called leaders now to make people proud to be gay. Come out of the closet. Look at Dwayne Wade's little innocent child. I feel so sorry for that young man. And see, you got a lot of people who are like killing these transgenders. And that's the plan. I'm telling you, our government is evil and corrupt. That is all a part of the plan. To get you to come out of the closet, to have pride, show yourself, be who you are, so you can get killed. That's what it's all about, actually. While they stay under, closeted. I'm telling you, you would be surprised as to just how many of our politicians, these so-called leaders and these elites, you would be surprised at just how many of these people are transgender, bisexual, homosexuals. But see, they have to stay undercover. But they want you to be gay and proud because that puts a target on your back to get you destroyed. Now, Donald Trump, now here's something that should tell people that Donald Trump loves gay people. Loves gay people. And I want to say this about men. I won't say all of them, but from what I learned when I was in that lifestyle, that straight men, so-called straight men, who are hypersexual, who they just can't get enough, they got all these different baby mamas and most of them are undercover, down low, bisexual, homosexual men. Most of them are. They truly don't have a desire for women. They don't. They just feel like, this will keep people from thinking that I'm gay. If I just sleep with a bunch of women and just everybody say, yeah, that boy, they're a player boy. That boy, they love the women. No, that's a disguise. Because if you kind of look at most of these cases when these men have killed these women, a lot of these women found out that they were actually gay. And before they would let that secret out, they would kill these women. They would kill them. And again, I say not all of them who are hypersexual are like that. Because you just got some people who are whorish men. You got women who are whorish like that. And they're not thinking about another woman. They just whorish. They just lustful. They just love sex. So not all of the men, but a high majority of them are. They don't really have a desire for women. And one of the characteristics of the Antichrist, the Word of God says, he doesn't regard the desire for women. That means he doesn't even care for the desire of women. And Donald Trump, again, whether y'all believe it or not, Donald Trump is the Antichrist. And the Word of God says the Antichrist doesn't regard the desire for women. You notice this man has had, I don't know how many wives. and he just loved these women. He just was over hypersexual. So who knows? Who knows? Only God knows. Whether this man is a full-blown homosexual and he used these women as a front. And then again, I told you, you don't really know who's transgender and who is not. You don't know what Melania is or was. I'm not saying that she is, but I'm just putting that out there. There's so much that we don't know. These people's lives are secret. That's what the occult means. It means secret. Their lives are secret. But what I do know is Trump adores gay people. He adores the lifestyle. He adores that song, YMCA. It's fun to be at the YMCA, where men can just come together and just enjoy themselves. And you got a lot of these down low men. A lot of them are known for messing with little children. They don't care for grown women. They don't really know how to approach a woman. So what they'll do is they will advance on a child, or either a young boy, a young girl, or a young boy. A lot of them, they battling with being a homosexual, and they really don't care for women. So what they'll do is they'll take their little lustful desires out on a child. And again, Donald Trump is nothing but a child trafficker. And this is why I will always believe he had Epstein murdered, because he was jealous of Epstein. Again, the movie Pizza Man that came out in 2012. Whoever put that movie out, they were basically saying that Epstein is the only one who could destroy Trump. And I believe that's why Trump destroyed him. So Trump was nothing but a child trafficker. He was never going to put no list out. So Trump loves homosexuals, transgenders. He loves them. Now, Donald Trump was asked a question. He was asked, this says, Donald Trump okay with Caitlyn Jenner using any bathroom in his tower? When you come to my house, you do what you do. And you notice Caitlyn, Bruce, that ain't no woman, and I would never call him a woman. You notice Bruce fully endorses Trump. He loves Trump. Even though he knows what Trump says about gays and transgender. See, he knows Trump is just playing a role. He knows that Trump is playing a role. All of them play roles. All of them are actors. The world is their stage. So this is why Caitlyn, Bruce, endorses Trump, because he knows what's near and dear to Trump's heart. So Trump said North Carolina, this is when they had the whole issue with, men going into women's bathrooms. And see, this is why Trump started telling those lies to we're going to keep men out of women's restrooms. Yeah. And everybody just was so excited about it. Lying. I told you have to listen to the things that he's saying. It says North Carolina, this is Trump. North Carolina should allow people to use the bathroom they feel is appropriate. Donald Trump said this morning. Said state lawmakers should leave it the way it is, he added. Asked whether Caitlyn Jenner would be free to use any bathroom any bathroom she wanted if she walked into Trump Tower. He said that is correct. Because he loves transgenders, homosexuals, all of that stuff. Again, we don't even know how that child, there's so much we don't know. There's so much we don't know. I don't even know if there's any pictures of Melania being pregnant. I mean, I looked for him and I couldn't find him. So Trump is always talking about in vitro and fertilization or whatever the case may be. Using, like the term, I forget the actor, the comedian, he's always talking about test tube babies, the one that passed away. But they believe in that because a lot of them are gay. They just take, the seed and they put it in a tube. A lot of them don't even want any dealings or any sexual dealings with women. But they want children because that looks good. When you're running for office, you got a wife, you got children. And again, I believe this is why he had to kill his ex-wife, because she had a lot on him too. A whole lot. But it says Caitlyn is the reality TV star and gold medal winning Olympian who competed as Bruce Jenner, who is still Bruce Jenner. Says the Republican Party primary candidate, John whatever, but Senator Ted Cruz supports the North Carolina law, bashing Trump's comments as what he called evidence that the New York real estate mogul is too politically correct to be the GOP nominee. This is when they were doing the little, the little play fighting they do before the elections. I forget what they even call it, but that's all it is, play fighting. He says, quote, Donald agreed with Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama in attacking the state of North Carolina for passing their bathroom ordinance. Cruz told supporters today at a rally in Frederick, Maryland, and Donald on television this morning said, gosh, he thought that men should be able to go into the girls' bathroom if they wanted to. Tell me he's not a pedophile. What grown man would want another man to go in the bathroom with their daughters? Trump is nothing but a pedophile. And in my view, he's a homosexual. Closeted. Now let me ask you again, have we gone stark raving nuts? This is the political correctness. In defending his support of the North Carolina law, Cruz said, I'm the father of 2 little girls. Here is basic common sense. Grown adult men, strangers, should not be alone in a bathroom with little girls, and that's not conservative or liberal. That's not Republican or Democrat. That is basic common sense. And it is. Now, this was in 2016 when Trump was all for men going into women's restrooms. Now you see here in 2025, that's all he want to talk about. Men should stay out of the girls' restroom. That's just to pump up his base. Yay, yay, yay. And get them to go against the transgenders and to actually kill them off. You see all of these transgender deaths? That's purposely done. See, they're causing these civil wars. They're causing the people to kill each other off, to do their dirty work. And this is what I believe is coming, and why they actually legalized homosexuality, transgender in sports. This is why they legalized it. They had this one young woman, that man beat her so bad in the UFC fight. A transgender man. I wouldn't have fought him. I'd have been like, no, I'm not gonna fight him. He's a man. But he beat her so bad. And see, it's legal. It's legal. So what God showed me is that these people are using the fact that homosexuality is legal, it's open, and they got everybody proud. They're just using that to put a target on the people's backs. Because I believe this civil war is gonna start very soon. Very soon. A lot of people, just like the definition of civil war, is that, they're gonna rise up against the government, but more so, they're gonna attack each other. Again, they use the illegals against those who came here legal, and the immigrants against all they're doing is setting the stage for civil war. And they just sit back and watch the bottom feeders just kill each other. But God really placed it on my heart to speak about the homosexuals. And I would tell anybody, whether you are homosexual yourself or gay or whatever you want to call it, or if you got children, you need to know that God is not pleased with it. Don't allow these people to cause you to go to hell. God's word is true. God didn't change. So what make y'all think that being gay and lesbian and homosexual, bisexual, transgender, what make y'all think that all of a sudden God is pleased with that? What makes you all think that God has changed? It's all a trick of the enemy to destroy you, to destroy your children. Now, my advice to anybody that has children that are gay or calling themselves gay, first of all, you need to get saved, parents, because you can't really tell them nothing. You really can't. You can't be speaking out against, well, you know, God ain't made Adam and Steve and Adam and Eve, but then you somewhere ho-hopping, looking at somebody's husband or wife, lying, gossiping, so you really can't even say anything to them. But what you parents need to do, you need to come to God. You need to get saved. And then what you can do is you can pray for your child, because the prayers of the righteous availeth much. God does not hear the prayers of sinners, contrary to popular belief. God does not hear the prayer of sinners. So for those of you who talk about, well, I'm just praying for my child and I ain't letting nobody bother my child gay, and I'm fine with it. No, you don't know God. You need to get saved. You need to get saved. Aren't you concerned about your child? How your government has actually caused your child to be proud, to be in an abominable, in an abomination state, to be proud of doing something that God says he hates. You see how your government is using you to go against God? So these people are causing our children. You got these little babies now. They telling them in the schools that they can choose their sex. They got these men with makeup and beards and all this foolishness reading books to our children. They're trying to destroy us. They're trying to destroy us. And these same cross-dressing men, they don't want no woman. They want your children. They want your children. They want the innocence. Satan has always been after innocence and purity, pure and innocent, untouched. And see, this is why I thank God every day for delivering me from that, because those were the women that I was after. Straight women. Pure, if you will, untouched by other gay hands, other lesbians. I would be there first, introducing people to this demonic lifestyle. And then when I'm tired of them, then, okay, and go away. Just evil, just pure evil. I thank God every day. I thank God every day. So those of you, if you are involved in that lifestyle, I'm telling you, it's time for you to come to God, because God has not changed. God is not pleased with it. God is not pleased with it. And while you full of pride, gay person, while you are okay with it, the parents of a gay person, I'm not going to judge my child. You're just watching your youth, your baby, your child, the one who they gave you this child after this child came out of your womb. Now you are okay with handing your child off to Satan. There is no other way to look at it. One of the things that the children of Israel had picked up on from the pagan nations is they would cause their children to walk through the fire. They would offer their children off to this god, Molech, and have them walking through the fire as an offering. And when you're okay with your child being gay, you're just causing your child to walk through the fire. You're just offering your child up to Satan. It's time to come to God, y'all. And again, you cannot call me a gay basher or a homophobe. You can't call me that. Again, I lived that lifestyle for like I'm going to say about 40 years. I'm 61 now. I think I really started participating, and not just thinking about it and looking at girls. But I started off, I think, when I was in Job Corps. That's when I had my first girlfriend, if you will. But I was in high school, I was watching girls, just liking them, just like obsessed with them. But I was just too scared, kind of shy with it. But I think it was Job Corps. So I was in my 20s, so I'm 61 now. So about 40 years, I was active in a lifestyle that was leading me straight to the pits of hell. And that was just one of the things that Satan offered me to destroy me. He can't force us to do anything, but what he does is he makes these things appealing. The fruit that Eve caused her husband to bite off of after she did. They had been passing by that tree so many times and looking at that fruit. But when Satan told her and talked to her about it, I guess that fruit just started looking so tasty and yummy and delectable. It just, yeah. And this is what he does to sin. We know that God is not pleased with it. But when Satan introduces it to us, it looks good. It looks real good. It looks real good. So again, parents, don't accept the fact that your children are gay. Don't do it. You need to get saved so you can pray for your child. And those of you who are actually gay adults, y'all need to get saved as well. I'm not gay bashing. You can't even fix your mouth to call me a gay basher. Not if you knew me. Those of you who knew me, especially those in my family, I know y'all ain't fixing y'all mouth to call me gay. A gay basher. Knowing the life I live. I can't even begin to mention all the evil stuff I did in that lifestyle. I know ain't nobody calling me no gay basher. I'm just a witness for Jesus Christ. And if he tell me to say something, I'm going to say it. I'm going to tell you what thus saith the Lord. God snatched me out of that burning fire so I can come back and be a witness and tell others how not to get thrown into that fire. No, I'm not old-fashioned. I'm just living holy. I'm obeying God. I'm obeying God. And like I told my neighbor, when God delivered me, I didn't even look back. I haven't even had the desire for a woman. Now, this is something I was in for 40 years. And you got people saying that there's no way you can just walk away from homosexuality. People truly don't believe that you can. They don't believe it. But all things are possible through Christ Jesus. But see, the thing is, you have to obey God. True deliverance is not that you just stop messing with women or stop messing with men. I'm just going to leave that alone. No, you will constantly be haunted by the thoughts. If you're not active, no, you will constantly be haunted by the thoughts. Because see, Satan desires to pull you right back into it. And he's going to find a way to get you to ease back in it, but you can kind of like be down low with it. You don't have to come all the way out. You know, you remember you told people you don't do that no more. So Satan has fixed it where you can just be, you know, in a little down low state. These weapons are not carnal. Satan is crafty. He's not going to give up on you. He's not going to give up on you. Deliverance is not hard. But when God has delivered you, you must turn from it. You must make up in your mind that you're going to obey God in everything that he tells you to do. And the first thing he said, one of the first things he said to me was come out from amongst them and be separate. That's what helped me. That's what helped me. Because again, in the 90s, I got saved in the 90s. I lasted for a good 3.5 years because I just kept being around, you know. I didn't want to judge nobody, you know. Maybe my life has changed, but I ain't going to judge nobody else. So that's their life. I was still going to the little cookouts, going to these lukewarm, dead churches where any and everything is. And 3.5 years later, boom, I'm back in it. Backslid. One of the first things God told me when I came back to him in 2020 was to come out from amongst them and be ye separate, saith the Lord. You got to do what God tells you to do. Again, I haven't even had the desire to do anything. Homosexuality, cocaine addiction, marijuana, alcohol, pride, hate, arrogance. I was an arrogant something. Oh, yes, I was. Thought I was the cutest, the best dressed, and thought everybody wanted me. That was nothing but pride and arrogance. The only way I was going to be delivered from that is to do what God told me to do. To come out from amongst. You got to get away. There must be a difference between the clean and the unclean. You can't even stand next. You can't even be hanging around that. There must be a difference. And if you're constantly around it, nobody sees the difference. Who's clean and who's unclean if you're constantly around it. And see how, again, God delivered me from that pride and arrogance. Everywhere I went, before I left, I was taking a picture in my mirror. That's nothing but pride. You already know what you look like, sweetie. You ain't got to take a picture and post a picture every time you go somewhere. Somebody got to see your outfit. When God showed me that spirit, even when I came back to him in 2020, I was still taking my pictures. God showed me, I hate that. I hate that. And the moment God showed it to me, boom, I was delivered. He had to let me see it. The moment he showed it to me and showed me how much he hated and how he was disgusted by it, boom, I stopped taking pictures. And this is why when people see my videos, you don't see me. You know, if you don't know what I look like by now, you just won't know. You don't even see in my profile pictures on Facebook or YouTube or my cover photos. You don't see me. You don't need to see me. That's nothing but pride. I always want somebody seeing you smiling in your outfit. See, that's how arrogant and proud I was. Thought I was the best dresser. All of that foolishness, all of that stuff is in that closet. I have given away. I saw a gentleman on Facebook in one of the pictures, one of the suits that I had that I gave to him. And he had it on. He looked nice in it. But all of that stuff, a lot of that stuff is still in them closets. I'm just as modest and plain Jane as it can be. No jewelry, no none of that. All of that stuff represents pride. You want to be seen. So I haven't gone back to anything. But the way I had to do it is I had to obey God in everything. And again, the first thing, you got to come out from amongst them. I was telling my neighbor, I told her, I say, this is how I've survived. I say, people say that you can't stop being gay. I say, that's a lie from the pits of hell. 5 years going strong. I haven't even had the desire. Another thing, I turned that television off. I don't listen to that worldly music. I don't want to hear those words reminding me of an old girlfriend. I don't listen to that stuff. You got to come out of this world. And see, this is how I've lasted. And then you have these people talking about, well, ain't nobody perfect. We all gonna sin. I was speaking to a former coworker of mine. Right now, he had a stroke, so he's down. He can't walk. And I was talking to him about the Lord. And he was like, well, we all, like Donna McClurkin say, we all fall. I say, that's nothing but a lie. He's nothing but a liar. Saints are not sinners who fall down. Saints are not sinners. I told him, I said, if you obey God, God promised to keep you from stumbling or falling. And I'm a living witness. In 5 years, all of the things that God delivered me from, I haven't looked back. And it's because I made up in my mind to live holy, to come out from amongst them and be separate. That is what it's going to take. And if you all don't do that soon, give your lives to God very soon, a lot of y'all going to be targets during this civil war. You gay people, especially you gay people, transgender and all of that, you're going to be huge targets by your own fellow man because they've set it up that way for us to kill off one another. And the gays, my. I pray that y'all come out of that. Give your lives to God. Take care.